Well, many of our users on ComputerWise love Avast. We talk about Avast, the antivirus program, all the time. One of the ones that we recommend, highly recommend here on ComputerWise. And we're going to talk about Avast tonight. Joining us on the program, we have Jonathan Penn, the Director of Strategy at Avast. Jonathan, how are you?
Hello, George. I'm fine, thank you.
Great to have you here on the program with us this evening. We want to talk about Avast. We've been talking about it on our TV show for many years now, and we highly recommend it. And I know a lot of people use the free version, but you do have paid versions too, and we want to talk a little bit about that. But let's first, for people at home that might not know about Avast, a premier antivirus company, been around for the past 25 years.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, and thanks for those kind words. Yes, it began in the late '80s as software before it was a company. It was founded in what was then Czechoslovakia, and it's still based in the Czech Republic today. It was started by two scientists, actually, Ed Kuchera and Pavel Bautis, and they first developed the antivirus in 1988. And they're still associated with the company. And it grew slowly in the early 90s, incorporated after the fall of communism. And in a little-known fact, it actually powered the antivirus for McAfee for a little time during the late 90s.
Wow.
That didn't last, but the company did struggle a bit after communism collapsed because there was more direct competition with the big antivirus vendors who had very large marketing budgets. So in the early 2000s, Avast turned to the freeware model that we now have today. Then it was very untested, the idea of giving away a free version of your software, but it helped really move the game to new turf.
Well, let's talk about, Jonathan, if we could, talk about the different levels of protection that Avast offers for consumers out there, for the home user. I know we have like the Essential, we have the All-Inclusive, which is the Internet security, and then you have the top-notch Avast Premier. What are some of the differences between those three?
Yeah, contrary to what many people think, the free product actively protects you from malware just as well as the pay versions do. Mm-hmm. The difference in the pay versions as you go up the ladder is that you get extra security goodies that come in all these versions. You get a firewall or sandboxing to provide extra protection of an application that you're really not sure of, maybe something that came with the download, for example. A secure browser if you're very worried about being on a phishing site or while you're doing online banking and using your credit cards online. These are really things that you turn on discriminately for an extra level of security. The average user doesn't really use these things, aren't expected to think about them too much, and they're not more exposed to attack for running the free version. This is just for really people who are fairly savvy and like that extra layer of protection and comfort that they get by using these extra tools.
So if we're using the free version, a lot of our users may be using the free version out there, they're protected pretty well, correct?
Yeah, very well. In fact, when we have these little tests that are run by third-party, independent organizations, we give them the free version. We don't give them the pay version of the product. It's the same anti-malware engine and virus definitions and all that come in the pay products.
It's funny, a lot of times when we think of free, we think of it maybe not being as good as the paid version, but you're telling us that Avast, if you have the free version, you are being protected. Do you know how often the company is monitoring situations where they're sending out definition updates and updates to the program?
Yes, actually, with some updates a couple of years ago, we now are basically you're easily connected. So if there are important updates, we basically give that out in real time, and twice a day, we'll do sort of a full sync to make sure everybody has all the definitions current.
Okay. I know that Avast is always mentioned very highly in the press. I read about it. It's rated very well. But from your point of view, what do you think makes Avast so good, better than a lot of these other ones? And there's a lot of them out there.
There are, both free and paid. And, one of the things is that, we do kind of live and die by our customers. With a free product, you can either try to just market it out there, pay for installs and go through a lot of churn, or you could take care of your users, and we've gone the latter route. All of these users, and we're, really probably the #1 company in terms of installs worldwide. Got over 200 million devices that we're protecting now. And it's all been powered through word of mouth of other people who are using it, the good reviews that they give our software, and the recommendations that they make to their friends and family and coworkers. So that is a pretty key thing. What makes us, and that's part of our, what makes us really a standout product, is that we have their support, and it goes beyond just kind of serving our marketing function. They help us by providing insights as we release betas and early versions. They help with translations and supporting the 43 languages that they support. They help in our support forums. People have questions. We answer them, and our users also answer them. But the other thing that we see is the two other things besides price that probably take higher precedence than price in decision factor about antivirus. We really excel in. We excel in detection, which is the main reason why, of course, you're getting these things, and also we have a very low impact on your system. We take a lot of care to make sure that we're not going to bog down your PC. And when we're running, so people don't have to worry about exchanging one problem for another by getting our software.
Right, and that's something we hear a lot from different other antivirus programs, that the users out there, and I hate to name names, but some of these programs are large. They have a high impact on the computer, and then people wonder why the computer's slowing down. And one of the first questions I ask them is, what's the antivirus that you're running? Because if they, sometimes they're not running antivirus, but if they are running it, and sometimes it's one of the big guys, the ones that are known, or put on a lot of computers, trial versions and things like that, and it just slows the computer down. It just integrates itself so much, and when we remove that and we put something like Avast on, I think the users are amazed at the speed that they get back in their computer. So hats off to Avast for that, because that's not an easy thing to do, I don't think. So
yeah, we thanks for that. And
sure.
we do spend a lot of time, and some of our secret sauce is in how we can detect things with a very low impact and just monitor things as well without degrading the performance of your machine. It does take a lot of engineering to do, and we're always very careful that we don't break that when we come out with new features and new versions.
Now, we're looking at the Avast antivirus screen right now, and on the program itself, under scan, I know that you have different things here. You can do a quick scan, a full system scan, a boot time scan. What is the recommendation on these? How often should we do the quick scan versus a full-time scan, and maybe a boot time scan every now and then? What are your recommendations from the company?
So basically, it's designed to protect people sufficiently on the default settings, right? So you may have a quick scan that's done periodically. The boot scan, a lot of people don't boot up that often nowadays. We see people leave their machines on. Really just make sure that it is running, that it is up to date, and it will do the rest through its active protection. Because most of most of the attacks these days are coming in through the web, so we have the browser protection, make sure that the extensions are running and that you're protected in that way. And then you'll see the scans come up, and you'll see the notifications that everything's running well and you're getting your updates and all that. So we try to keep it kind of low profile, but make sure that you do see that it is running and protecting you.
Sure. Now, when you have the free version, the scan, you have to run the scan manually, correct?
No, it's that's one of the other things. So
Okay.
all these features, like you mentioned, a boot scan, that's something that a lot of companies leave out of the free version. But that's important because there are all these rootkits and other things that will get in at these low levels early. Another thing is that we'll run these scans on a scheduled basis, whatever you want, but typically daily. Even with the free version, you don't have to upgrade to make things, to have the constant protection that you need.
And when they find something on your computer, it's put into a virus chest. Is that what happens? And then what happens from that point?
Yeah, so it's put into a quarantine. I mean, we'll look at it. We'll bring the information up to our labs to take a look. Mm-hmm. If it's a known virus, then it's just going to be isolated. And if it's something very suspicious, we're going to put it in that quarantine. We can even, if it's something that we've never seen before, we will prompt you even to run it in a protected environment as well, and we'll do that automatically. Most of the, you don't really have to do anything. If it's in the virus chest, then it's something that's pretty much guaranteed to be something you don't want to be touching.
Okay. Now, what's your recommendation for users that are using Avast and then maybe something might possibly goes wrong and they don't know how to address it? What should they do? Go to the Avast forums and ask a question, or how should they address that?
Well, however they're comfortable, a forum, or if they want, if they can look online. That's probably the easiest way, because you can more closely define what it is, the problem that you're seeing, and chances are, we've got, like I said, 200 million using the product. Chances are other people have seen it before, and you'll get your answer right there. If not, you'll get an answer very quickly from us, and probably from many other users as well. If you like phone support, then you can call up. We have an 800 number. Even with the free version, you can get free phone support, and it's available 24/7 in the U.S. So that's the other way that you can go.
Nice. I see here that if you look at statistics, that there's the Web Shield and the Mail Shield. These are things that are protecting you with your email and protecting you when you're surfing the net, correct?
Right. The Web Shield protects you from if you're on a malicious site or a compromised site. There's also a plugin called WebRed that will protect you from phishing sites. The File System Shield is what a lot of people think of normally as AV in terms of looking what's on your hard drive. Right, as you open a file and run a file, it will examine it that way.
Now, Avast is also available for Mac computers, too, not just for the Windows.
Right. We have a version for the Mac. We only have one version. It's the free version.
Okay.
And that's been available for several years now.
Okay. Any? You don't have a version for Linux yet, do you? Or?
No.
Not yet. Okay. All right, very good. And I know that you, Avast has been working on something for Android devices too, correct?
Yes, we have several solutions for Android. We have a very popular antivirus, anti-theft product. Combined, there are about 40 million people running that today. It's one of the fastest growing security products out there. It's only been out for about 2.5 years. And very successful, highly rated, and just chock full of features. We also have a personal VPN product called SecureLine, and what that does is it protects you on public Wi-Fi, open unsecured Wi-Fi network. So if you're at a Starbucks or other kind of coffee house or a library, you can run this and protect your privacy. And we have a backup product to send your data, your photos, and videos, and your call logs and your contacts up to Google's G Drive in case you lose your phone or your phone just stops working. So then you can, with your new phone, you can just restore it all back.
Wow. That's really cool. We're going to take a quick break, Jonathan. We come back. I just want to talk a little bit more about the app for the Android, a little bit more detail on that, and we'll wrap up our discussion on Avast. We really appreciate it. Just stay with us. We'll be right back with more here on ComputerWise in just a moment. And we're back here on ComputerWise. I'm George Roberts, and on the phone with us is Jonathan Penn, the Director of Strategy at Avast, the antivirus company. And Jonathan, we were discussing before we went into the commercial break about Avast's free antivirus offer for Android app or Android users with their mobile devices. And this is an app that they would get right through the Google Store. Is that where that is, Jonathan?
That's exactly right.
Okay. And what's in that app once again? What does that app include?
Yeah, so the Avast Android mobile security is chock full of lots of different features, goes well beyond antivirus. So we have the virus scanner, and just like on the PC side, this free version has automatic scans. You don't have to run these manually. It will regularly update with new virus definitions and all. It has a lot of anti-theft features, from the typical where you go find your phone or lock it remotely, to things like you can, if you've lost your phone, you can go online and see your texts and see who called you, and even respond to the text if your phone is just somewhere where you can't find it. You can have it take a picture or listen to some audio in the background, so maybe that can help you find it or find who stole it. There is the backup. I mentioned the backup product. There's actually some degree of backup features inside of the mobile security product. The AV product, just basically the contacts and the call logs and backing up your photos. It's got some privacy features, so you can see what the applications are looking at in terms of your personal data, and even what they're sharing with the ad networks, because there are so many apps that are ad supported. So it's one thing, weather app, to look at your location data so it can tell you what the weather is in your area, but it's another thing when that weather app shares your location data with the ad network. So that's a pretty interesting feature that we have. We have various ways to manage applications and close applications that are misbehaving, perhaps, and we have the ability to filter out calls, block calls, and block certain texts, people who are texting you. So if you're getting some annoying messages, you can stop that. And you can also see, another kind of system tool is to see the kind of traffic that an app is generating. So you can perhaps change your behavior and not use up so much mobile data. So there are lots of different features that are just in the free product that does antivirus and anti-theft. It's really much more than that.
Now, that's a free app. Is there a paid version of that too, or is it just free?
There is a pay version. The pay version actually is like a whole tier. So we have it offers some enhanced features, some of which I mentioned before around on the anti-theft side, so being able to take the picture is an advanced feature. Another one is being able to set it in some sort of geofencing mode, so maybe you're putting it in a locker in a gym, and it will detect and lock itself if it moves within, let's say, 50 feet of the location that you've set it. So if somebody steals it, then it'll basically be rendered inert. And it has some more enhanced privacy features and also more backup features as well. So in addition to the contacts and call logs, it'll back up your applications and it'll back up your videos and music as well. That's part of the premium features.
Now, is this just for Android phones, or could it be used with Android tablets also?
It works equally well on phones and tablets. Some companies have a tablet-specific version, so it's a little bit confusing, but ours works on both, and it just is able to see whether or not it's a tablet or not, and then the user interface changes a little bit to take advantage of the bigger screen.
And we find this in the Google store. It's under Avast. Is it called Free Mobile Security? Is that the name of it?
That's it.
That's
yes.
the one. Okay. Fantastic features in that. That sounds really good. And if you have an Android device, I think we should highly recommend picking that up today and giving it a try. The Avast Free Mobile Security for Android devices. Jonathan, how long have you been with Avast?
I've been with Avast about 2.5 years.
Okay. And you have
one of the early U.S.-based employees here.
Oh, okay, right, because you're saying it's based overseas in Czechoslovakia.
Yes.
Okay.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, I'm sorry. Okay, very good. Once again, Jonathan, we want to thank you for being here on the program. I know Avast has many different things. If you are a home user, they have the antivirus program. They've got something called Grime Fighter.
Yeah, so that's a PC cleanup tool.
Okay.
It fits very well with our antivirus. A lot of people are plagued by having unwanted software that comes with their machine or just slows down over time, because a lot of products that they install and then uninstall don't fully uninstall themselves, and they leave lots of remnants running around. And so we'll look through all that and also optimize various native settings to help keep your machine running smoothly.
And also, if you have a business, I understand that you have several business products that business owners could get for their computers.
Right. On the desktop side, we've got our antivirus, which has all the features that you can get in the consumer free or pay versions, and a management tool to help IT people deploy and configure the product. And then we have some things on the server side that make sense for corporations, like email security and security for your file servers.
Wow, very nice. And also I see on the website here, too, that they have free for schools, that schools and students can take advantage of Avast.
Yes, indeed. We have a program now where we're giving away, if you're an academic institution, such as anything from an elementary school to a university, we can provide the product free of cost. So we're waiving the licenses for those kinds of organizations, as well as other nonprofits.
All right. Well, Jonathan, things look really good with Avast. You have, of course, Avast now for 2014, and people can go to your website, which is avast.com, and on there they can find everything they need to know about Avast, and they can even download from there, too, correct?
Exactly. There's a big green download button right there, and you could see more about the different tiers of products that we have on the PC side, as well as learn about our Mac and mobile products.
Super. Jonathan, we want to thank you for taking the time to be with us here on the program on ComputerWise. Any last words that we should tell people about Avast to get them to give it a try if they haven't already?
Well, you don't have to even remove your existing AV program. A lot of people are worried about conflicts. We've put a lot of effort into designing the product so that it works alongside the existing AV product that you may have, so you can give it a try really at no risk, not just in terms of it doesn't cost anything, but no risk to your computer, because we work well with others, we like to say.
Wow, that's great to hear. Jonathan Penn, Director of Strategy at Avast. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
That's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, take care. And for everyone at home, thanks for watching ComputerWise. We'll see you next time right here.